A kingdom in flames, a king in hiding, and an enemy that seemed unstoppable. This is not a legend, it's history. How did Alfred the Great, with his back against the wall, pull off one of the greatest comebacks in medieval history? Alfred was born in Wantage, England, in 849 AD, the youngest son of King Athelwulf of Wessex. As the youngest of 5 sons, Alfred's early years were spent in the shadow of his older brothers, each of whom had their own roles and responsibilities within the kingdom. His childhood was steeped in Anglo-Saxon traditions, learning the skills of a warrior, scholar, and leader. From a tender age, he was trained in the art of swordsmanship, the intricacies of governance, and the wisdom of scholarly pursuits, preparing him for the challenges that lay ahead. At a young age, Alfred embarked on a pilgrimage to Rome, a pivotal experience that would shape his character and future reign. This journey was not just a physical one, but a spiritual and intellectual quest that broadened his horizons. He was deeply moved by the grandeur of the Roman Empire and the Catholic Church. The majestic architecture, the solemn rituals, and the sheer scale of the city left an indelible mark on the young prince. In Rome, Alfred was honored by Pope Leo XII, who gave him a special blessing. This blessing was a significant event, symbolizing the bond between the English crown and the papacy. Some accounts suggest this was an early form of coronation, foreshadowing his future role as a Christian king. This moment was seen by many as a divine endorsement of Alfred's future leadership. The pilgrimage instilled in him a strong sense of piety and a desire to rule with justice and wisdom. The spiritual journey reinforced his commitment to his faith and his people. Alfred's time in Rome fostered a deep appreciation for learning and culture. He spent hours in the ancient libraries, absorbing knowledge that would later influence his reign. He witnessed the power of knowledge in shaping a prosperous society. The intellectual discourse he observed in Rome inspired him to promote education and literacy in his own kingdom. Alfred returned to Wessex a changed young man, more devout and knowledgeable. His experiences in Rome had transformed him, equipping him with the wisdom and insight needed for the challenges ahead. Little did he know that his kingdom would soon face a grave threat: the relentless Vikings. These fierce warriors from the north were a formidable enemy, known for their brutal raids and conquests. Their raids were becoming increasingly frequent and devastating. Villages were burned, treasures looted, and countless lives lost in the chaos. The very survival of Wessex was at stake. The kingdom's defences were tested to their limits, and the people looked to their leaders for hope and protection. Alfred's early experiences, strong faith, and thirst for knowledge would prove invaluable in the turbulent years to come. His journey to Rome had prepared him in ways he could never have imagined, setting the stage for his future as one of England's greatest kings. The Vikings, fierce warriors from Scandinavia, had been raiding England for decades. Their raids evolved into full-scale invasions, seeking land, wealth, and power. Alfred witnessed the brutality of the Vikings firsthand as a young prince. In 868 AD, Alfred's brother, King Athelred I, faced a major Viking invasion. Alfred fought alongside his brother at the Battle of Ashdown, demonstrating his courage and military acumen. The Anglo-Saxons won a hard-fought victory, but it was costly. The Vikings, though defeated, continued to raid and plunder. Alfred's leadership qualities were evident in these early battles. He learned quickly from both victories and defeats, adapting his tactics. He understood that defeating the Vikings required more than military might. It demanded cunning, resilience, and difficult choices. These early experiences shaped Alfred into a formidable leader. In Alfred's strategic retreat and the fortification of Athelney, in 878 AD, the Vikings launched a surprise attack on Chippenham, devastating Wessex. The sudden onslaught left the kingdom in disarray, forcing its people to flee. Alfred, now king, retreated with a small band of loyal followers to the Somerset marshes at Athelney. This remote and desolate area provided a natural refuge. Despite the dire circumstances, Alfred's spirit did not break. His determination and strategic mind were his greatest assets. He used the marshes as a natural fortress, building a stronghold at Athelney. This stronghold became a beacon of hope for his people. From this hidden base, Alfred rallied his forces and sent out messengers to gather the men of Wessex. His call to arms was a rallying cry for resistance. Stories of Alfred's courage and determination began to circulate. These tales inspired the people and rekindled their hope. One legend tells of Alfred disguised as a commoner in the Viking camp, inspiring his people. This act of bravery became a symbol of his cunning and resolve. The marshes of Athelney became a symbol of Alfred's resilience. They represented the unyielding spirit of a king and his people. Here, the spirit of English resistance endured. The soldiers, inspired by Alfred, prepared for the battles to come. Alfred's ability to regroup and inspire his people set the stage for a remarkable comeback. His leadership was a beacon of hope in dark times. The Vikings, believing Wessex to be conquered, underestimated Alfred. Their overconfidence would soon be their downfall. His leadership would soon turn the tide. Alfred's strategic brilliance and unwavering resolve would lead to a resurgence that would change the course of history. In the spring of 878 AD, Alfred emerged from Athelney, calling upon the men of Wessex. They assembled at Egbert's Stone, their spirits lifted by their king. The Anglo-Saxon army, reinvigorated, marched to meet the Viking force at Edington. The Battle of Edington was a decisive engagement. Alfred's forces, inspired by his leadership, fought with great ferocity and tactical skill. The Vikings, taken by surprise, were routed. The victory at Edington marked the beginning of the Anglo-Saxon resurgence. The Vikings, defeated but not crushed, were forced to negotiate. The Treaty of Wedmore, signed in 878 AD, established peace and redrew the map of England. The Danelaw, under Viking control, encompassed eastern England. The treaty acknowledged Alfred's authority and contained the Viking threat. After the Treaty of Wedmore, Alfred focused on strengthening his kingdom, ensuring its stability and security. He enacted comprehensive legal and educational reforms to unify and fortify his realm, aiming to create a just and learned society. Alfred revised and codified existing laws, emphasizing justice and fairness, ensuring that his subjects were treated equitably. He believed education was the bedrock of a strong society, essential for the kingdom's progress and stability. He invited scholars from across Europe, revitalizing intellectual life and fostering a culture of learning. Alfred established schools and encouraged the translation of important Latin texts into English, making knowledge accessible. He personally participated in this scholarly endeavor, demonstrating his commitment to education. Alfred oversaw the translation of works like Gregory the Great's Pastoral Care and Bede's Ecclesiastical History, enriching English literature. His reforms extended beyond law and education, encompassing military and administrative improvements. He reorganized his army, establishing fortified towns known as burhs, which served multiple purposes. These burhs served as defensive centers and administrative hubs, crucial for local governance. They played a crucial role in repelling later Viking incursions, safeguarding the kingdom. Alfred's reforms transformed England, laying the groundwork for a more unified and prosperous nation, setting the stage for future growth and stability. Alfred's passion for education extended beyond inviting scholars to his court. He was a scholar, a gifted linguist, and a prolific writer. He believed knowledge should be accessible to all, not just the elite. Alfred personally oversaw the translation of important Latin texts into Old English. These translations formed the foundation of English literature. Alfred's most significant literary contribution is the Anglo-Saxon Chronicle. The Chronicle, begun during Alfred's reign, chronicled the history of the Anglo-Saxons. Alfred saw literacy as a means to empower his people and preserve their history. His efforts to promote literacy had a profound impact on English culture. Alfred's legacy as a scholar king is as significant as his achievements as a warrior and ruler. Alfred understood that the Vikings remained a threat, despite the peace established by the Treaty of Wedmore. He embarked on an ambitious program to strengthen England's defenses. Alfred improved the training and equipment of his army. Recognizing the importance of sea power, he invested heavily in building a strong navy. He ordered the construction of larger and more powerful ships. These new warships allowed Alfred to challenge Viking dominance at sea. Controlling the sea lanes was essential to protecting England from further invasions. Alfred's investment in a strong navy deterred future Viking attacks. His foresight in recognizing the strategic importance of sea power helped secure England's shores. Alfred the Great died in 899 AD, leaving a legacy few English monarchs could match. He transformed a kingdom on the brink of collapse into a beacon of learning and strength. His victory over the Vikings at Edington secured the survival of Anglo-Saxon England. His reforms in law, education and the military laid the foundation for a more unified nation. Alfred is remembered as a just and compassionate ruler, a scholar king who cherished learning. His commitment to education and the English language shaped English culture and identity. Alfred's reign marked a turning point in English history. He is credited with saving England from Viking conquest and laying the groundwork for its unification. And Alfred's epithet, the Great, reflects his character, spirit and impact on England. He faced extraordinary challenges during his reign. The Viking invasions threatened to plunge England into chaos, yet Alfred never surrendered to despair. He rallied his people, inspired them with his courage and led them to victory. Alfred's greatness lies in his achievements and humanity. He was a man of deep faith, a wise and compassionate ruler. Alfred's life is a testament to resilience, education, and the human spirit. He is a beacon of hope, reminding us that courage, wisdom, and determination can prevail. Alfred the Great's life and reign continue to resonate centuries after his death. His story is an inspiration, reminding us that courage, wisdom, and perseverance can prevail. Alfred's legacy is multifaceted. He was a warrior king, a just lawgiver, and a scholar king. Alfred represents the enduring spirit of England, a symbol of unity and resilience. His story continues to inspire, reminding us of the power of leadership and education. Alfred the Great's name is etched in history for his indomitable spirit, inspiring generations to strive for greatness. Thank you for joining us on this journey through history on History Uncovered. We're passionate about bringing you the stories and events that have shaped our world, and we're thrilled you're along for the ride. If you enjoyed this episode and want to explore more historical tales, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Your support means the world to us and helps us continue creating content that dives deep into the past. We'd also love to hear your thoughts and suggestions, so feel free to leave a comment below. Thanks again for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in our next adventure through history.